Disrespect, whether subtle or overt, can have deeply damaging effects on someone's self-esteem. And I learned all about that firsthand. Today, that's what we're going to talk about. Welcome to my colorful life after a great divorce. My name's Regan, also known as the Easy Ex-Wife, and on this channel we talk all about divorce and dating and rebuilding and living a colorful life in your 50s and beyond. Okay, I hope you have some tea or coffee or wine or whatever your drink of choice is, and you have a chance to just settle in. And today, let's talk about self-esteem and how disrespect can really, really damage your self-esteem. In fact, my ex used to say to me, like before we were having a kind of chewy conversation, he would say something like, well, I don't want to lower your self-esteem meter. That's how he would start some conversations. And the fact of the matter is, I had pretty good self-esteem until he started treating me with disrespect and basically not giving me a voice. And I'm going to share something with you today that was really, really damaging to me personally that now I continue to struggle with. But what exactly is self-esteem? The exact definition of self-esteem is the internal sense of one's worth and value, which is basically just the confidence that you have in your own abilities and identity. So you may have this great foundation, but when someone just constantly disrespects you, that foundation starts to erode. And this can lead to emotional, psychological, and even physical consequences over time. And that's what happened to me, all three ways. Emotionally, I just started to withdraw because my self-esteem meter, as he called it, was just starting to go down and down and down. And then psychologically, I would say I started to really second guess myself, and you start to wonder if you are actually the problem. And then physically, it manifested in just some inflammation in my body. I had this constant little knot in my shoulder that hasn't gone away completely, but definitely since the divorce and being on my own, it has gotten a lot better. And it's no surprise to me that these things happen because with that disrespect, you feel undervalued, unappreciated, and basically you feel like you can't be taken seriously. And that's really what was happening to me because anything that I would say, he would just undermine me and almost make me feel like my voice just wasn't important enough. And when you feel like that for a long enough period of time around a certain person, you stop having a voice completely. And when the disrespect just keeps happening over and over again, repeatedly, and I'm talking, several times a week, I just started to internalize negative beliefs about myself. And it doesn't even have to be a weekly thing for it to have these negative effects on you. I mean, if you're getting spoken to harshly or just being dismissed, which is pretty much what was happening to me, or ignored or belittled, it can cause these lasting impressions that make you believe that you are just less than. And disrespect can come in so many different forms, but for me, it was more, I could see it in his body language. He would have passive aggressive behaviors, and anything that I did say, this was especially when it was regarding the kids, he just dismissed it. And his body language would just communicate to me his disapproval. So if your environment is constantly sending you signals that you're not good enough, of course it's going to have an impact on your self-esteem. And I know in many cases, because this started to happen to me, this would be the psychological piece, is you start to question whether you deserve that type of treatment or not. And no, of course you don't deserve that type of treatment, but when you question yourself, you start to think that you do deserve that type of treatment. Hello, New York. And unfortunately for me, it just became a normal part of my life. And it took me some time to recognize what was happening. And I think it took having the emotional toll, the psychological toll, and the physical toll for me to realize I can't live like this the rest of my life. We need to make some changes. And I talked in other videos about us going to marriage counseling at one point, and then we stopped, and then we went back because I knew it was the last ditch effort. Like, we were getting divorced if we didn't go to marriage counseling. So we went back, and I mentioned in a video that, he just went the one time and he said, I am not going back. And I really think that deep down inside, he was embarrassed to go back. I think he knew the way he was treating me, and he did not want to say it out loud. And he didn't want the marriage counselor to be pointing it out to him. And listen, if he had been accountable and willing to change, or at least really, really work on it, we'd still be together. But we all know that for someone to change, they have to really want to change. So one of the things I really, really had to do to help myself heal was to really work on myself. Because my self-esteem had plummeted so much, I've been working on myself internally. But I'm going to share something with you guys today that I feel a lot of shame around, and I know it was caused by my low self-esteem. And I know I'm not going to blame him for this, and I'm not a victim, because I know I need to learn how to control my own behaviors. But when my self-esteem really started to plummet, I didn't turn towards drugs or alcohol or gambling. I know that people can develop these really addictive behaviors when they're going through a really tough time. And I did develop an addictive behavior, and I started over shopping. And I guess the term is a shopaholic. And I do know that it came from my self-esteem going really, really low. Every time I purchased something, whether it was clothing or makeup or, supplements, anything like that, it gave me this little dopamine hit, and it made me feel good. And I know now that I needed that little dopamine hit because I was in such a dark place because of the way I was getting treated. And then my overspending led to some more issues in the marriage. And so now I want to say I am a recovering shopaholic. I mean, maybe I should just say, hi, my name's Regan, and I'm a shopaholic, because I am dealing with this every single day. And I want to share this with you because I want to break this cycle, and I want to help anyone else who is going through trying to break an addiction. And I really thought a great way to do this is just with this little, we'll call it a little video journal, and where I let you know about my shopping behaviors and how I'm saving. And one of the things I did for the first time is create a budget. And I want to talk to you guys about, what I spend in a week and what I spend in a month, or what I spend in a day living in this very expensive city. I live in New York City, if you didn't know that already. And I hope that's something you guys would be interested in, because I want to share it because not only do I know it will help me and it will help me be accountable, but maybe it will help some of you guys out there. So if you're struggling with low self-esteem and there's been some sort of addictive behavior that has come out of it, my first suggestion would be to get some help with that and to talk with someone, talk with a professional. And one of the things that I am going to continue to do is constantly work on myself and think on a day-to-day basis. What can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? And, I listen to all the podcasts. I listen to a lot of financial ones. I listen to a lot of self-improvement ones, and I'm doing all the things and really trying to take great care of myself. So that in itself has helped to boost up my self-esteem. But the one thing I really want to tackle is this shopping addiction. And I know deep down inside is if I can tackle this shopping addiction, it's going to change everything, especially regarding my self-esteem. So to wrap this video up, I just want you guys to know that disrespect is not just some fleeting insult or a moment of rudeness. It can be a profound psychological wound, and it's something you need to take really, really seriously. And I mention this because I shrugged a lot of stuff off as he's just having a bad day, or I can be better. And eventually, when it really started to take its toll, I knew it wasn't going to get better. So respect yourself and do not make excuses for someone else's behavior. Okay, you guys, I hope you liked this video today. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. And so does sweet little Fiona. She's doing good. Unfortunately, the weather's not that nice out, so she didn't get a long walk, but she still seems pretty tired to me. But we love you guys, and I love that you're here, and I can't wait to see you next time. So until then, bye.